I was the first to betray her. That truth alone is enough to haunt me, even now. We were good once. More than good. We were in sync. She knew how I took my coffee. I knew when she needed silence instead of comfort. We moved in together after 2 years of dating, full of plans, routines, and shared playlists. Love didn't feel like effort back then. It felt natural, easy, unbreakable. But real life doesn't care about romantic beginnings. Work piled up, conversations got shorter. Her laughs faded into nods, and we both started living side by side, not with each other. I told myself it was normal. Every relationship settles. Maybe passion isn't supposed to last forever. Maybe routine is love, just quieter. Then came someone new. A colleague. Harmless at first, just banter over coffee breaks, little jokes in the elevator, inside references. But she listened. Really listened. And not out of obligation. I started lingering at work, half dreading the silence at home. My girlfriend would ask how my day was, but by then, I had already told the interesting parts to someone else. The first time it crossed the line was after a late deadline. She offered me a ride. We ended up talking in the car for over an hour. Nothing happened, but I knew something had shifted. I didn't stop it. I wanted more. And I got it. It was one night. After drinks, after weeks of skirting the edge. She kissed me first. I didn't pull away. In fact, I leaned in. We told ourselves it didn't mean anything, but it meant everything. I went home, crawled into bed beside the woman I said I loved, and pretended to be asleep. I didn't confess. I told myself it would destroy her, that it was just one mistake and didn't need to define us. But it started defining me. Every time she looked at me with those trusting eyes, I felt like a fraud. Still, I kept the secret and kept pretending. At first, she didn't seem to notice. She still made coffee for two, still wore the hoodie I left on the couch, still kissed me goodbye before work. But then she started changing too. She stopped asking about my day. Her hugs were shorter. Her texts took longer to come. I figured it was just life, just a slipping further into the routine. I had no idea she already knew. Or maybe she didn't. Maybe she just felt it in her bones, the way I no longer looked at her the same. Maybe that was enough. I thought I had gotten away with it. That my guilt was the only punishment I deserved. That as long as I could keep it hidden, we could rebuild. I even started trying more. Came home early. Bought her flowers. But something in her had already shifted. She smiled, but it never reached her eyes. And I didn't know it then, but I hadn't truly lost her yet. Not until she did what I had done. Not until she made the same choice I thought would never touch me back. At first, I didn't notice the changes. Or maybe I did, but I chose to ignore them. She started humming again, little melodies under her breath like she used to before we got too tired to sing. She laughed more too, but not at anything I said. Her phone lit up more often. She never rushed to answer it, but her smile lingered every time it did. She began dressing differently. Subtle, but noticeable. A touch more makeup. New earrings. Fresh perfume I didn't recognize. When I asked about it, she said she just wanted to feel good in her skin again. I nodded like I believed her. Truth was, I didn't want to dig deeper. I was already living with guilt. I wasn't ready to add suspicion to it. Nights changed. We used to eat dinner together, even when it was just leftovers. Now she came home later, said she had work drinks or needed space. I never argued. I thought I owed her that much. She didn't ask me where I was those nights. I came home late, so I figured I had no right to ask now. That's how I justified the silence. How I convinced myself not to confront her. Still, something felt different. She was distant but not cold. Detached in a way that looked like peace, not pain. That scared me more than if she had screamed. She seemed content. Free, even. And I didn't know how to feel about that. I tried to reconnect. Offered to cook, planned a weekend away. She said maybe, but nothing ever happened. One night I asked if she was happy. She looked me dead in the eye and said, "Are you?" I didn't answer. Neither did she. We went to bed without another word. Then came the photos. Casual ones she posted online. Her smile was real, but there was a man in the background. A coworker, apparently. Tall, clean-cut, always laughing. I'd never seen him before, and yet suddenly, he was in every group picture. Her arm near his hand resting too naturally on her shoulder. I asked about him. She called me paranoid. Said he was just a friend. The same way I once said it. I recognized the tone. The defensiveness laced with just enough truth to sound honest. That was when I started checking her phone. Quietly. Desperately. Messages were deleted. Chat apps uninstalled and reinstalled. Call logs wiped. She wasn't even being careless. She was being intentional. That hurt more than anything. It meant it wasn't spontaneous. It meant she was hiding something she had already chosen. Then I found the receipt. A hotel reservation from 2 weekends ago. Not even hidden. Just left inside her laptop bag. I stared at it for an hour. My stomach twisted, but I didn't cry. I didn't rage. I just sat there. The silence was deafening. All the pieces started connecting. All the missed calls, the sudden glow, the new habits. She was doing it. What I did. Maybe worse, because she did it knowing what it would do to me. Or maybe that was the point. I waited 2 days before saying anything. Not because I didn't know what to say, but because I was afraid of hearing the truth. When I finally asked her, it wasn't dramatic. Just a quiet, steady question. Are you seeing someone else? She didn't flinch. She looked at me the way you look at a stranger who asks for the time. Yes, she said. No excuses. No lies. Just that one word. I felt like I couldn't breathe. The room felt smaller, heavier. I expected denial, maybe anger. But she was calm, detached. Like she'd already prepared for this moment and moved past it. I asked her how long. She said, a few months. The same length of time I had been trying to rebuild what I had broken. She was never rebuilding. She had already stepped out. I demanded to know if it meant anything. She said it wasn't about him. It was about me. I needed to feel wanted again. That line hit harder than any confession. It wasn't revenge. It wasn't planned. It was a void I helped create. And someone else stepped in when I stopped showing up. I asked if she loved him. She said no. But she didn't say she loved me either. That silence answered more than words ever could. I told her she broke me. She reminded me I broke her first. I called her cruel. She called me a hypocrite. Every sentence between us was a mirror held up to my own actions. She wasn't screaming. She didn't need to. Her honesty hurt more than any insult could. I tried to make her feel guilty. Said I was trying to make things right. That I'd made a mistake, but I came back. She said I only came back when I felt her slipping away. That I wasn't sorry, I was just scared. I didn't have a response. Because maybe she was right. I asked her if this was it. She didn't answer. She just began packing. Slowly. Intentionally. Like someone who had already left, even if her body was still here. I wanted her to fight. To cry. To regret. She didn't. And that's what killed me the most. She wasn't angry. She was done. When she left, she didn't slam the door. She didn't even say goodbye. Just took one last look at me. No hate, no love, just indifference. I stood there, watching the person I thought I'd always have walked away like I was a chapter she had already closed. I wanted to scream, to chase her, to beg. But I didn't. I just sat in the silence, finally understanding what I'd done. I had betrayed her first, yes. But I never truly felt the weight of what betrayal meant until she returned it. She didn't just leave. She took something with her. The version of me that thought I could be forgiven. The apartment was quiet without her. Not peaceful, just hollow. I still woke up expecting her side of the bed to be warm. It never was. Her toothbrush was gone. Her jackets, her books, the mug she always used, missing like they'd never been there at all. But her presence lingered in the places she used to fill. In the silence after my alarm. In the way the light hit the kitchen in the morning. In the pauses of my day that used to be hers. I thought time would numb it. That the ache would fade if I stayed busy, kept moving. But nothing filled the space she left. I tried calling her once. No answer. Texted twice. Nothing. She hadn't just walked out, she erased the trail behind her. I started remembering things I hadn't thought about in years. Her bad jokes. The way she used to sing the wrong lyrics on purpose. The way she looked at me when I was talking about something I cared about, like I was the only person that existed. That look vanished long before she left. I didn't notice when it stopped. I only noticed once it was gone for good. I kept asking myself what I could have done differently. Told the truth earlier? Fought harder? Maybe if I had just been honest the moment I slipped up, we'd have had a chance. Maybe she wouldn't have felt so alone. Maybe she wouldn't have needed someone else to make her feel seen. But that's the thing about betrayal. It doesn't stop with one person. It spreads. Infects everything. We both became strangers because neither of us knew how to heal from what I started. I saw her once, months later, from across the street. She was laughing. That same real laugh I hadn't heard in so long. The man next to her wasn't holding her hand, but he didn't have to. You could see it in how she looked at him. I didn't approach her. What would I have even said? That I was sorry again? That I missed her now that she'd built a life without me? She looked happy. Happier than she had been with me for a long time. Maybe that's what hurt most. I thought if I waited long enough, she'd come back. Or I'd move on. But time didn't fix it. It just taught me how to live with it. I dated others. None of it lasted. They weren't her. And maybe that's not fair to them, but it's the truth. You don't come back from the kind of love you ruin with your own hands. She never got revenge. She never screamed or begged. She just matched my betrayal with her own truth and left with her dignity intact. And I'm still here, surrounded by reminders I can't throw away in a life that used to be ours. This isn't about who is worse. It's not a competition of wounds. It's about two people who once meant everything to each other and ended up with nothing. Because I was the first to betray her. But I didn't truly lose her until she betrayed me too.